The SEC just absolutely pumped Bitcoin in markets today. We got a big green dildo. I got the green bull screen up to entice all these bulls in here just so I can shoot them down because I think we're dumping. I'm going to show you a couple accounts, show you some long-term stuff, show you some short-term trades you can get into. Stick around. Guys, if this is your first time here, this is Chart Junkies. My name's Alex. We use Elliott wave theory to come up with high probability trades. And now this freaking market, man, if you don't know what Elliott wave is, it's the best way to trade. I guarantee you. There's a link in the description, and I'll pin it right now to my crash course for Elliott wave theory. It's like a 10-minute video. Just watch it, just if you don't know what it is. There's a free Discord link in the description. Come in here. You can learn Elliott wave just coming in here. I post trade setups all the time. My long-term analysis, charts. You can ask me questions. Everyone's posting profits in here. So come on in. It's free. There will be a paywall at some point. Enough of all that stuff. Let's get into the charts. I'm going to show you a couple long-term outlooks type stuff. A couple charts as to where I think we're going. They all got the same structure, the same shape to it. So ultimately, I think we're in a correction to the downside for another wave to hit these highs before absolute death to Bitcoin, right? It's been my take on it. It'll remain my take on it until it's invalidated. So where could we be in this whole process? After this huge pump we got, one option, and these are both WXY, both of these charts I'm going to show you. One option is that we have a big flat right here that we need to finish up, and this is just a 1-2 start and then a 1-2 of the middle 5-wave structure, and this is gonna be a big short, big. So when you get a 1-2 you can expect the next third of the third to be the most massive wave ever. So not a bad short to get into. I don't want to see the wave that we're in break this trend line. Yeah, let's get a better. I do not want to see this trend line of the first 1-2 get broken. So that would put it, depending on where this comes up, around 28.7. I don't want to see 29K, guys. I do not want to see 29K. I want this trend line to hold if this 1-2 is going to be the count, or has a possibility of being the count. Next. Now, this is the futures chart, also on the Coinbase chart. We did not break this low. On other charts, the low was broken, which would invalidate this count, but it's still a count in my opinion. This is what I thought was originally going to happen for the longest time. If you go back in my videos, this is the setup that I was looking for. But again, a lot of the charts broke this low, so I'm kind of veered away from it. But it is still possible where you have a correction to the downside here, and this is following our first main correction. You have a correction to the downside, a correction to the upside that breaks the high, and then you would expect an impulse flat. So like that. I was calling for this way back when Bitcoin was right here. I was calling for an ABC correction to the downside like we just have right now, and then an impulse to the upside that breaks the high to finish out this flat structure, and then we'll get an impulse down, and then from there we can hit to our highs, right? So I love that count. I just don't love that it broke this low on the last dump on a lot of charts. It just doesn't sit right with me, but I want to make everyone aware that it is still a count. Now, how am I playing this structure? This is how I'm playing it currently, and I will stay playing it until it's invalidated, right? I'm looking at this as a correction to the downside. Guys, this is a WXY. Call it ABC, call it a WXY, call it what you want. It's just a 3-wave correction. Got another one that broke the high here, right? So again, kind of a flat feel where we're now going to get an impulse to the downside. or we're in the middle of an impulse to the downside, right? Now, in this count, I have a 1-2. Now, instead of it being a 1-2, 1-2 for a big impulse to the downside, I have it being a 1-2, 3 that's going to finish up here, take its time, and then come into your 4 wave, and then 5, right? Maybe do some ending diagonal type stuff where, like, this is the most basic structure I can draw, but maybe it'll do some kind of ending diag, something like that, and then we go, right? That's the count and the structure that I'm playing. There's reasons for that. The main reason is there is so much liquidity down here right now. So much liquidity here and so much liquidity here. As opposed to the liquidity up here, it's night and day. Like, I just don't think market makers are going to let all this liquidity sit here and give all these longers a free play where they're going to just get out here and just cash out a bunch of money. I don't see it happening. Anything can happen, but I don't see it. I think we're going to come down in a flat formation, take this liquidity, come back up, take this liquidity, then come down, take this liquidity, and then we're rocking into the 5th wave, and then we can go. That's what I'm seeing in the charts, guys. Now, zooming in on this wave that we're in, I have an impulse off the bottom right here. And then I just don't like how shallow that correction was. I don't like how extended that correction is. There's issues with this count. There is, believe me. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. But we are at fib levels that you would expect. I mean, it doesn't get much more fibby than that, right? You would expect a rejection here if this really is an ABC or a WXY or whatever you want to call it. If that really is that, you're going to expect a rejection right here and coming down pretty heavily. Now, I feel like it needs to come up and hit these highs one more time. Something like that. That would look complete to me, and then we can crash. And now we can come back up, and then we can crash again, right? But ultimately, I'm looking for this structure. This is your flat in the middle, and this is your complete correction, and then you're coming down. I don't want to see this. I do not want to see that get broken. Like I said, 29K is my, okay, we're wrong, right? That's my invalidation. And that's on this first wave. On the second wave, I'm not going to want to see this get broken. Like once we break this low and come up, I'm not going to want to see this get broken. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, I'm looking to short the absolute piss out of this because it can be a 1-2, 1-2, and then you got a mega short coming, or you're at least going to get a nice impulse down to these levels here, which is how I'm going to play it. And then I would expect some type of a bounce here before more down. Okay? That's what I'm doing, guys. You guys can do whatever the hell you want to do. Make your own mistakes. You're going to make them anyways. That's how we learn, right? I'll see you guys in the Discord. It's free. Join up. Do it now. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I appreciate you watching the video and taking the time out of your day to spend a quick 10 minutes with me. It really does mean a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.